I think it would be very, very wrong, I think, to keep on doubting us as it was doubted before. Well, I know that there are good reasons because one's beaten second, well, I mean, shy, but I believe that we can work with the university people to find a way out.
Yeah, but perhaps we can learn something from your statement, that you actually are the government that gave the academic staff their union.
Absolutely.
They had been denied by the previous regime. Yeah. And maybe they should use that gesture as a basis of confidence in you.
As a matter of fact, the recognition on the part of the government for Warsaw was a clear message that we don't see Warsaw as an enemy. Yeah. If anything else, we saw them as our partners. And we also wanted to send a strong message to the university teaching staff. Yes, we are with you, and we work with you. Fact, I still want us to work together. Yeah. Yes, there is a small hitch, and I think it's good to appreciate. Yeah. The fact of the matter is that because, you know, during the time we are negotiating, the dialogue actually did break down. And when it broke down, university dons were on strike. Then, of course, according to the labor law, the minister, my colleague, the Minister for Labor, did declare the strike illegal. Now, the moment you see a strike is declared illegal, there are several implications, which are not all that good, but again, they are there, and it's a reality. But what I want to urge my colleagues out in the university is that there are many ways I'm sure we can actually be able to get out of this quagmire. And the most important thing is that can they really be able to appreciate what we are offering? Had we been saying that, look, we don't believe that these people require any salary review, there would be something else. Had we been saying, yes, they require, and then we don't tell them, when, of course, you know, the package will be given. That's something else. But we are giving them, you know, a time frame. And we say, this is February, we will do it. And we have given the good reason, namely that we wanted to analyze the figures. But it's not even that one. We have even gone much further and said, well, in any case, the package will not be lower than their counterpart in Tanzania. And we do know for sure that Tanzania and the Ugandans counterparts are getting much better. So but we are saying we are going to make sure they don't get less than that.
As the taxpayer goes to celebrate Jamhuri Day, as the parents go to celebrate Jamhuri Day, are we seeing this kind of transit to next year?
I don't think, quite frankly, I do not think that is necessary. I believe that our own friends out in university need to appraise the government position and the fact that we can actually now that we are going to be receiving the final report of KIPRA, that they can actually give us the little time which is required between now and February to be able to analyze and be in a position to come out with a final report. Incidentally, you see, the very strike being illegal actually deny both of us, you know, the opportunity to actually engage in dialogue. So what we actually need to do is to say, fine. I mean, let's remove this impediment, which is making the dialogue difficult. And since the government has already agreed, February the park will be there.
Yeah, I understand.
This is going to happen. The condition will not be much worse than the other place. Why not remove this impediment so we can get into a dialogue and smoothly be able to agree on the way forward?
Now,
that's
Professor,
precisely what we are looking for.
Professor, notwithstanding the standoff, let's end this big and important talk show on some positive note coming from the Ministry of Education. Let the viewers hear it.
My view is that I think the position of the government, I think, need to be appreciated. It is this particular now government, incidentally, that did legalize Warsaw because we felt that Warsaw had an important role to play in the university. We have also decided in our own government that there is a case indeed for the university lecturers and indeed all the way up to the professorial levels to have their salaries reviewed. The current salary that they enjoy are definitely much lower. They are their counterpart within East Africa. We know very well that the teaching staff in both Uganda and Tanzanian universities are earning much better than here. At the same time, we are committed to the fact that we must really stem off the brain drain from our public universities to various parts of our region, including even outside this region. So that's why we have to come out categorically and affirmatively so that the government is prepared to review the terms and the conditions of service to make them much better. Well, in a way, we also felt that, and this is very fair, that it is important that we needed to get more information as to what the teaching staff in other public universities within our regions are being paid. Because quite a number of our own lecturers have been going there, although some of them have been going to Europe. That is why we felt that we needed to put together a competent body, staffed with very competent staff. A number of them, incidentally, have their background in universities. Others have taken leave of absence from the university to join this very reputable research institution to bring us the data. Now, I can tell the nation today that the final report is going to be presented to us tomorrow. Once this report is presented to us, again, it is fair that the government must study it carefully. We must look into those figures in order to make sure that we know how do you factor some of these figures into the budget. What is going to be the final thing? Because we must make sure again that the budget in itself is also not endangered. This is absolutely important. Now, the other thing that we have signaled that the exercise of analyzing the figures we have been given is going to be a needless. No, time scale. And we have said it once again, come February, we will be in a position to certainly announce the implementation of the new conditions and terms of service. But again, to reassure the teaching staff, lest they believe that we are just going to give them peanuts, we have then made an assurance. Whatever comes out will not be worse off than what is being paid in our public universities. Now, those who are asking about the figures, I'm sure they already can be able to look at the comparison figures. But we are not saying that they are going to get worse than that. Really, that's the government, that's the more the government can do. And I think this government is extremely reasonable, and I think it is unfair to accuse the government of being rigid or being stubborn. On the contrary, we care very much for the thousands of these teaching staff. They have been doing a very good job. They are people we rely, we are going to rely for them. A country that needs to develop clearly needs this skilled power for them to be properly remunerated. And we are committed to that one.
Thank you,
so the message I really want to send out to the teaching staff, I think this is one time. I think let's put away the pride and let's us work as Kenyans and find out the best way we can overcome this impediment, get down to the dialogue, make sure that within this very short time which is left, between now and February, we sort out the issue so that the students can go back to school, because that is where we want them to be.
Staff Union Secretary General Charles Namachanja says a number of recruiting agents from South African universities are already talking to UWASU members.
Following a meeting of UWASU's National Executive Committee yesterday, the officials sought to highlight their resolutions. With the government still refusing to give in to their demands, the Dons are now contemplating leaving the country.
Some universities from South Africa have sent their representatives in this country, and they have been recruiting some of our colleagues to go there. And the departments which are affected mainly are the law faculty, say Parklands, School of Medicine, Engineering.
It is not the wish of the union that they should leave. They should hold on and look for leaving for within the short time. We will require them as members, we require them to be at the universities when they reopen.
Speaking on the lecturers' plight, leader of the official opposition Uhuru Kenyatta said that although it was understandable that the Dons were being driven by frustrations, they should not abandon the country.
We need to retain them. We need them here to serve Kenyans. We need them here to continue to serve in our universities. And that is why I think we are calling on the Minister of Education to resolve this matter.
UWASU officials dismissed the pledge by Minister Saitoti that the proposed lecturers' pay would be in tandem with terms offered in the East African region. Saitoti had also said that it was not possible for him to dialogue with UWASU unless they called off their strike. In a statement signed by 25 members of parliament, Uhuru urged the education minister to stop high-handedness in the dispute and instead hold roundtable discussions with the lecturers.
The minister should forthwith stop being arrogant and have a roundtable meeting with the WASU officials to resolve this stalemate.
Albert Gashiri, Nation TV.
University administration. Addressing a press conference at the University of Nairobi Chiromo campus, UWASU Secretary General Charles Namachanja said pegging of figures on the East African scales confirms lack of seriousness from the authorities.
UWASU National Executive Committee met to deliberate on the way forward.
Under no circumstances shall UWASU become irrationally, unethically, and inconsequentially confrontational.
The union says it is opposed to the move to peg lecturers' salaries on the East African scales.
The pegging of figures on the East African scales confirms a poor sense of economics, lack of seriousness, and lack of vision on the part of the ministry.
They also want the analysis from KIPRA expected tomorrow to be made public. The officials urge the Education Ministry to capitalize on the President's comment to have negotiations.
Under no circumstances shall UWASU become irrationally, unethically, and inconsequentially confrontational, such as the Ministry of Education and Technology, which has lately become confrontational despite the President's call for dialogue between UWASU and the government.
Today, the union issued fresh threats.
The dons are contemplating leaving the country en masse due to the high-handedness from both the government and university administrations. This brain drain needs to be curbed by patriotic Kenyans.
Since 10th of November, all the 6 public universities were closed following the lecturers' strike.
The government is going to move as fast as possible to analyze this one and eventually to be able to come up with a package. But it is important that all of us must be patient to make sure that the government indeed does come up with that package which I say, which can be sustained economically.
The standoff, which began on 10th November, has continued unabated with both parties holding firmly to their positions. The minister acknowledged the dons' grievances.
That the university dons require their salaries to be reviewed and reviewed as quickly as possible.
But he also says that the lecturers should have tried to sort out their problems with the university councils first. The KIPRA executive director said they had compared the salaries of lecturers in Kenya with those of their counterparts in Uganda, Tanzania, Botswana, Lesotho and South Africa before coming up with the proposals.
A major finding in the report is that the current terms and conditions of service for public academic staff are not competitive when compared to peers in similar universities in the region and some organizations in the country.
But having received the report, Saitoti said,
"So I'm very sorry that I cannot make it public now. It is now the possession, it is in the possession of the government, it is the property of the government."
Yesterday, UWASU Secretary General Charles Namachanja warned that there would be a massive brain drain if aggrieved lecturers took up jobs abroad. While the report now being considered by the government will raise expectations of a possible breakthrough in the stalemate, the real test will come when the parties hold negotiations. Bassett Buyuka, Nation TV, Nairobi.
Government can afford receiving the Kenya Institute of Public Policy Research report on terms of service for Kenyan dons. Education Minister Professor Saitoti said while the government is committed to restoring normalcy in universities, the lecturers would have to wait until February.
Professor Saitoti finally received the contentious report that had put the government and the Dons Union on a collision course. And though the contents were not made public, KIPRA says that the contents of the report are tailored to offer a competitive package, but issues of economic sustainability and comparative analysis of other regions were also considered.
The idea behind the scenarios is to allow the government to make a choice of any option that is competitive, but which does not compromise the economic development of the country.
Now, we want the KIPRA report to be made public. This is a democratic country, and would not expect our government officials or ministers to hide the details or the content of the report.
So I'm very sorry that I cannot make it public now. It is now the possession, it is in the possession of the government, it is the property of the government.
Saitoti, however, assured the Dons that the government will not renege on the February pay hike and asked for patience as the report is analyzed.
All of us must really appreciate the fact that the economy has not yet recovered. We need a little bit of time, but at the same time, the government does appreciate that the university dons require their salaries to be reviewed.
UASU officials yesterday criticized government's high-handedness in seeking to resolve this stalemate. Saitoti also clarified his ministry's refusal to enter into formal negotiations with UASU.
The problem is that the strike was declared illegal. We have got only one government. I'm not in a position to go and act contrary to the legal position which has been taken by the Minister for Labour.
As of now, uncertainty over resumption of academic programs remains as the stalemate continues.
Claims that they are preparing to resume work in January. The UASU National Chapter met at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology and warned various university councils against negotiating on their behalf with the government. They advised their members to persevere even though a number of them had been offered jobs abroad.
Kazini kabla ya tarehe 23 mwezi huu. Yeyote atakayepuuza agizo hilo atafutwa kazi. Wakati huo mgawanyiko umeanza kuchipuka katika chama cha waadhiri UASU kufuatia mgomo huo, huku afisi kuu ikishutumiwa na baadhi ya waadhiri.
Kwenye taarifa iliyoandikiwa vyombo vya habari, Baraza Kuu la Chuo Kikuu cha Nairobi limetoa agizo kwa waadhiri wote wa chuo hicho kurudi kazini ifikiapo tarehe 23 mwezi huu. Aidha, baraza hilo pia limeazimia kutoa mpangilio wa kazi zao za kawaida za kutoa mafunzo kabla ya kuamua ni lini wanafunzi watarudi chuoni. Baraza hilo limesema wakati waadhiri na wanafunzi watakapokuwa chuoni na mafunzo kuendelea, ndipo mazungumzo kuhusu nyongeza ya mishahara yao yatakapoanza upya. Aidha, baraza hilo limeonya kuwa yeyote atakayeshindwa kurudi kazini kati ya waadhiri hao kufikia tarehe iliyotajwa atakuwa amejifuta kazi mwenyewe na hatatambuliwa kama mfanyikazi wa chuo hicho. Taarifa hiyo iliyotiwa sahihi na naibu mkuu wa chuo hicho Profesa Crispas Kiamba pia imeeleza kuwa mgomo wa waadhiri si halali, hasa ikitambulika kuwa chama cha waadhiri cha UASU kimekataa kutii mwito wa serikali. Baraza hilo limeafikia hayo baada ya kukutana hii leo katika chuo hicho. Hata hivyo, waadhiri ambao ni wanachama wa UASU wakizungumza na KTN leo kwa njia ya simu wamesema kuwa vitisho hivyo havitayumbisha msimamo wao, kwani hawatarejea kazini hadi serikali isikilize matakwa yao. Katika siku za hivi majuzi kumekuwa na malumbano kati ya waadhiri na serikali.
How we deal with people who are already on strike is not the same way as when dialogue is going on.
We want to know what kind of conditions of service are being offered them. We obviously want to come out with a package which is going to be very competitive.
We have agreed with the university administration that the university will remain on. There will be no classes.
Wakati huo waadhiri wa chuo kikuu cha Egerton wameshtumu afisi kuu ya UASU kwa kutia sahihi barua ya wao kurudi kazini bila ya kuarifu.
Kaidi ya agizo hilo watakuwa wamekatiza kandarasi yao na chuo hicho. Uamuzi huo ulifikiwa leo wakati wa mkutano maalum uliofanyika katika chuo hicho. Lakini akizungumza kuhusu hatua hiyo, mwenyekiti wa kitaifa wa chama cha wahadhiri wa vyuo vikuu hapa nchini, Dr. John Nderitu, alipuuzilia mbali agizo hilo akisema kwamba halina msingi wowote na kwamba mgomo huo utaendelea hadi masharti ya wahadhiri yatakapotimizwa. Dr. Nderitu alisema kwamba baraza hilo linaweza kutekeleza tisho la kuwafuta kazi wahadhiri hao kwani tayari limesimamia mishahara yao. Baraza hilo lilisema yasikitishwa kwamba wahadhiri hao wamekataa kurejea kazini licha ya juhudi za serikali na baraza hilo za kumaliza mgomo huo. Kwenye barua hiyo, chuo kikuu cha Nairobi kilitoa wito kwa wahadhiri wanaogoma kurejea kazini ili kuwezesha kufunguliwa tena kwa chuo hicho.
Funzi werevu kutoka
The solidarity of UASU at stake as the Vice Chancellor of the Nairobi University, Professor Crispas Kiamba, issued striking lecturers with a warning to return to work in 1 week or face the sack. The Vice Chancellor told the more than 1,000 lecturers to fill return to work documents and submit the same by the 23rd, or they will be deemed to have terminated their contract of employment. And the UASU Nairobi University chairman, did not advise his chapter against the move.
Once they receive those forms, let them sign the forms.
Nyandemo said he was not a sellout, but said there was a time to be firm and a time to relent.
Let each party sign off from this egoistic kind of approach towards issues. Let the government move a step backward or forward, whichever case. Let's also move a step backward or forward, whichever the case, and let's come to the consensus.
But an UASU meeting in Eldoret claimed that the government was using the Nairobi chapter to divide the lecturers, even though here too there were divisions.
I think it is the time to suspend. I'm not being a traitor because I will stand with you if that the consensus is that we continue. But there are people who will not.
Once the University of Nairobi is done, then the rest of us, as sons and daughters of that mother, then we will just also follow our mother. But we are saying this time around, if mother is going to take us in the wrong direction, then we are not going to tell mother to continue taking us there.
My best advice on this issue is that let's really develop a mechanism of understanding.
That we should operate within an agreed upon time frame, and we would like to know what the government side is offering in writing, just as you've requested us to make our proposal formally, which we welcome because the rest has been correspondence and we are ready to do that. We note that this will happen inside the formal negotiations, that is UASU making its presentation within the committee. And therefore we call upon the government side to table their proposal or their counter proposal so that the two groups can now exchange documents, and each party then takes time to study the document from the other side, and we come back and proceed.
Meeting, the council regretted that the lecturers had refused to call off their strike despite concerted efforts by the government and the council to end the strike. The letter, signed by the University Vice-Chancellor Professor Crispas Kemba, wants the lecturers to resume work to enable it to reopen the university. According to the council, the resolution of the trade dispute would only commence after appropriate normalcy returns to the university. But in a quick rejoinder, the national chairman of the University Academic Staff Union, Dr. John Deritum, dismissed the ultimatum as irrelevant and said the strike would continue until their demands are met. Deritu said the lecturers would not waver in their quest for pay hike and dared the university to sack them. Earlier, about 350 lecturers met at Egerton University, where they refused to sign forms circulated by the university and handed them over to UASU. The lecturers said signing of the forms was a ploy to coerce the striking lecturers to resume work without any pay hike.
To sign the form will be assumed to have terminated their appointment with the university.
Lakini maafisa wa chama hicho wamesema hatua hiyo ni ya vitisho.
The government is trying to test to what extent we can be overstretched. But we are telling them that come January, it will be the government struggling to get a solution.
Wanasema mapambano yataendelea kwa vyovyote vile na wameapa kutorejea kazini hadi suluhisho lipatikane.
Signing does not mean anything. We are seeing them as any sheet of paper that has no relevance for our cause.
Wahadhiri wamepewa hadi siku ya Ijumaa wawasilishe fomu zao za kukubali kumaliza mgomo wao na kurejea kazini.
That one, all our members may sign or not those forms to avoid selective intimidation. However, we consider such signing, if done, to have taken place due to coercion and duress, considering the short notice and deadlines extended to our members.
Signing does not mean anything. We are seeing them as any sheet of paper that has no relevance for our cause. Is that?
Yeah.
The next step.
But it's a way we do fight ourselves that it will make us unify our cause much more with that kind of sheet of paper.
2 months of push and pull between the dons and the government over salary increments, but the two warring groups are yet to reach an agreement. The government says it will not budge and has been firm that the striking lecturers return to work fast before any meaningful negotiations can take place. Today, Kenyatta University Senate held a meeting in which they resolved that the lecturers make a commitment to go back to work.
The university has requested all lecturers who are ready to resume their duties to indicate so by signing a return to work declaration form by Friday, 19th December 2003.
Failure to which
those who decline to sign the form will be assumed to have terminated their appointment with the university.
But the union officials say such a move amounted to intimidation.
The government is trying to test to what extent we can be overstretched. But we are telling them that come January, it will be the government struggling to get a solution.
They say the battle will continue no matter what it takes and have vowed not to resume work until an amicable solution is reached.
Signing does not mean anything. We are seeing them as any sheet of paper that has no relevance for our cause.
The lecturers said they had written a letter to the vice-chancellors and senates of various universities to condemn the manner in which the form are structured. Pamela Sigi, Nation TV.
700 members to sign and submit return-to-work declaration forms, but insist the strike is still on. WASU said lecturers will not teach despite complying with the directive. Kenyatta University today directed its lecturers to sign the documents by Friday or face the sack. And as KTN's John Mwendwa reports, WASU has now given the government 6 new conditions which must be fulfilled before the lecturers can return to work.
WASU national officials converged at the Chiromo Club, with serious divisions developing in the union on the way forward. They also met amid mounting anger that WASU chapters of Maseno, JKU Art and Nairobi universities had separately been to the Ministry of Education to negotiate before joining their colleagues. But the meeting took place, and 4 hours later, they got their groove back.
We are fighting for our country, we shall not be moved, just like
and bowed to the demands of the various university chapters.
We shall not be moved.
All our members may sign or not those forms to avoid selective intimidation.
You are ready to teach, but you are on strike.
As they spoke, the Kenyatta University Vice-Chancellor gave striking lecturers 2 days to fill return-to-work forms.
Those who decline to sign the form will be assumed to have terminated their appointment with the university.
It was also a race against time for Nairobi University lecturers who have until December 23rd, while Egerton University have until tomorrow.
Our strike still continues until all stakeholders negotiate on the best option of coming out from this stalemate.
Come January, it will be the government struggling to get a solution. We would have been part of the solution, but now they are deepening the crisis by intimidating us further.
In law, a contract that is signed under duress has no legal value at all.
Kenyatta University has put in place modalities to reopen the university immediately.
If you bring the students when we want to teach and we are on strike, then you have to deal with the students. And we will make